passive income is a luxury, do you really want to sit on a beach? You don't start with passive. You start with active and you slowly transition into passive.
There's no shortcuts. It's a minimum of 10 years of focus.
Can I give one hack? There is a hack to get there faster.
Oh yeah?
Oh, 100%.
GameStop.
No, this is that. This is probably what I'm most passionate about.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cashflow Quest. We are going to have some fun going through some clips and some, let's say, popular videos right now that are going viral along the lines of passive income doesn't exist. And so we put a panel together. We're going to hammer those and then have fun kind of kicking it around. We have a lot of insight into people that raise money and do deals on a bunch of different asset classes. So then we can kind of give our thoughts on some of these and respond to some of these current videos about passive income, but then transition to kind of what we're seeing in the market across indicators and people that are putting deals together.
How do I work myself out of this just being self-employment? Just not having to work, but still making money off of what he built. What needs to be true?
Dude, you're so far away from that, I wouldn't even think about it. Like, you trying to get to passive income right now, like, you don't even have active income right now. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not even a question. I'm just being real with you.
Yeah.
I would like to help. The idea of, like, I would like to make passive, sure, man. Everyone just wants money in the mail. It just doesn't work that way. Like, you need to make active income really cool for you for a while. And I will tell you this, making more money, tons of fun. Especially at the levels that you're at right now. The increase in income that you make has a material change on your life. Like, you won't want to get out of making it once you start making more of it.
Oh man, so
a lot of gold there, though.
Yeah, I agree with a lot.
I agree. So I do think everyone's trying to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
You have to become a production-based person in business, whatever business vein you take, or even if you're in sales or your role, you have to become focused on making sure you are an elite athlete on the team, and or if you're in that business, you got to make money. Then it's how do you deploy capital?
Correct.
Right. So I love how he hammers it because it's very true.
Yeah, like we've said this before, but like passive income is a luxury, right? And I say that because you have to work your ass off building a skill or building a business or just being a performer, as you're saying, to create active income to a point where passive income makes sense. And by make sense, where it's meaningful and it can actually change your life. That's why he's saying you're so far away from passive income. You're not even making active income. Let's just put the math together. $100,000 investment, any real estate deal right now, for the most part, let's say 90% is going to cash flow 5 to 6% starting. That's just where cap rates are across major like institutional or just high quality deals. So 5 to 6% on $100,000, that's going to pay you roughly $1,200 or $400, $1,200 a quarter, or like $420 a month. Yeah. Right.
Think about how many hundreds you have to stack.
Correct.
Right.
And it grows.
To make it, and that's a good, like, for everyone listening, like 5% is a good, just normal, simple target. It's like what you can do with treasuries, normal real estate deals, like, and then your 5% will grow, but it's like, you got to look at it. If 5% is a good quick calc. So 100 grand gets you $420 a month. Think about that. And you got to get excited about making the hundreds so that you can invest them and get $420 a month and start stacking.
And let's also differentiate passive income just in general. Like, he's talking about being completely passive. My first piece of a deal paid us, me and my wife, $286 a month. That was our first deal. I couldn't live off of that, but I was still receiving passive income.
Right.
So it's like, it took time. It took 10 years for it to be substantial and, turn into the tree that it is now.
And I think that's interesting, and kind of piggyback off what you're saying. 5 to 6% it correlates to risk.
Right.
And if you're getting a 5 to 6%, that's typically like a lower risk, higher certainty type of cash flow. And through times like this, that's super important. And it's oftentimes I'll pitch deals. We talk to investors all day, every day. And so many times it's like, these returns suck. I was like, well, this is super, super safe, right? Like, sure, if you want, go ahead, go do your crazy high rise, 30% IRR, 12% cash on cash that has a 50% of going belly up. Dude, put your money there.
You might as well gamble.
Dude, like, if you get it, like, good on you, right? Our returns suck compared to that. But if it doesn't, dude, like,
you're out. You're
out. And so it's like people are so used to seeing these return metrics from 2017 through 2022, and it's like 25% IRR and 8-9% cash on cash. Like, it's not real. It's gambling.
And then they got capital called.
Exactly. And then they got capital calls.
And distribution's off.
No, it's like, it all comes down to risk.
I actually feel like we're having a moment in our space to where that is very transparent at the moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Finally.
like, it took a long time,
Yeah.
and it's still happening.
Yeah.
Because
actually.
you and I were talking about it, like, dude, how I know these guys aren't making money. You know, because you and I, we talk, you knew what went on in the market, and it's like
how much you'd have to throttle rents.
But
in order
you're
to
like,
make
we're
it
gonna
on
see-
those multifamily assets.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
yeah, and we were like, when's it coming? When's it coming? And now it's very transparent. You talk, I
But
could
to your
talk to
point,
any
it's
investor.
just starting because
Just starting.
I'm hearing from multifamily guys, and then let's get back to the main topic.
Yes.
But I'm hearing from multifamily guys that they're still raising money and they know they're going to lose some, but they haven't lost them yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, that's gnarly.
Oh, that's super gnarly.
Yeah.
Back to this clip.
Yeah.
I feel like, let's just say, I don't know, this is my whole experience with this clip, but let's say this guy's in his mid 30s and he's got some company that's making him $250,000 a year. And he's like, I want to go full passive. You can do what Alex is saying and continue to grow your business, and you should, but just allocate some of it into a vehicle that will help you, grow your net worth passively.
You kind of like think about it. Like I kind of just hearing you say that, you think about it like active, if it's like a balance, like, right. It's like a seesaw. It's like when you first start out, everything's going to be active. And over time, you're going to start transitioning as you get older, more of that active into passive, to where the passive increases the active income and you're making more money passively than you are active, because at that point in time, maybe you sold your business or you retired or you're a production guy, like a high-end broker or real estate agent or insurance guy. And you're like, I just don't really want to kind of keep being, pounding the pavement and generating revenue. I just kind of want to go chill and relax. And so that's like the progression that I see. I don't think, like to Blake's point and your point, and probably everyone's point, is that you don't start with passive. You start with active and you slowly transition into passive over time.
And passive doesn't have to completely replace your day job out the gate.
No.
That's my take.
Well, I don't think it can, right? Like you need the active cash flow in order to achieve passive. And like sometimes, and kind of what this guy is saying, like it's a lot of fun to make a lot of money. And when you start to make a lot of money, it's like, holy shit, here I go. Like this is getting more fun, and you kind of get addicted to making more money. But like, if passive income is the goal and the result that you want to achieve, you have to be like frugal in a sense. And like to Tide's point, to have that plan, right? Because it's really easy to make a lot of active income and start spending like crazy, bigger house, cars, watches, all the fun stuff. But like if passive income is where you really want to be, you have to have like a goal. You have to allocate it into an account to where it's like, okay, this money is going to passive income investments, and here I can have fun with this, and really have like a structure around that. I feel like to ultimately achieve it, because otherwise it's too freaking easy to spend the money.
I think that's a great point. And we all know some like killer real estate guys that are solely chasing fees, and they get these big pops like realtors, things like that, brokers, and they work 40 years. They don't put it in anything. And then at the end of the day,
and then you get
they're like,
tired.
yeah.
Yeah.
The discipline there too, to allocate, let's say, half of your earned income. When you're growing a family and you're in your prime, let's say from a health standpoint, it's real easy to be like, I got time for that.
Right. It's so easy.
But there is, and I wanted to drive it home, which is there's no shortcut.
No.
There is no like, I'm going to hack my way through this. I'm going to sleep 4 hours. I'm going to do this. It's like, there's no shortcuts. It's a minimum of 10 years of focus. And that's, if you're going to build a for-profit business that's mostly fee-driven or anything that's scalable, you build it, you sell it, you go passive. If you're going to do real estate stuff, then it's 10 years of doing deals, and you're basically carrying your sweat equity perpetually.
Can I give one hack? There is a hack to get there faster.
Oh yeah?
Oh, 100%.
GameStop.
No, this is that. This is probably what I'm most passionate about as well. And this is what like I really talk to my friends about that are making a lot of money and they get it now. And it's really, the hack is to get there faster is real estate professional. If you
don't pay taxes.
Correct.
Well,
Like when you combine the two, active and passive, if you are a high W-2 earner or a business owner and your spouse doesn't work and you own like 1 or 2 rental properties and you designate for the real estate professional, you spend the hours, all that stuff. We won't go through that. And you can start to use taxable active income and start to shelter and put that into passive cash flow now with the bonus depreciation.
Which is basically a forced savings, but you get to keep your tax money and invest it.
And funnel it into an account.
You're getting a 40% discount. You're getting passive income on sale.
Yeah.
On scale. And so like if
you're missing a really great juicy part of the financial world. Yeah. If you, like we've talked to people where they're like, let's say they're going to sell something for 10 million. They're like, oh, we're going to plan for 4 to 5 million in taxes. And we're just like,
Jesus.
No.
There has to be a solution there.
No for me, dog.
No. Hold. Continue to build it and let's start strategizing tax.
Yes.
It's funny. There's a thought I had, like kind of a comparison. There's a lot of people who, are either for having their own like financial advisor or against, and a lot of people that are against, it's like, well, they're a leech and they take 1% of your earnings, yada yada yada. It's like, well, think about that, but like taxes is like 40%.
Well, and if that advisor can help you, I will say there's kind of a hole in the market for tax advising specifically.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like if they're gonna out earn that, what are you gonna do on your own? Like that's the whole purpose of. So obviously they're not all created the same, but I was just thinking kind of like apples to apples, like that 1% from your advisor. Or the government taking 40.
Let me give you a perfect example. And like we talked about this in the Investor Summit and it had like all the graphs and the charts up. If you're a real estate professional and you are able to put in $100,000 into investment, paying that, those rates that we were just talking about earlier, and you save $40,000 in your taxes, you're going to get paid on that full $100,000. And the reason how you would save $40,000 in your taxes is with bonus, through highly depreciable real estate like mobile home parks, gas stations, car washes, anything that has like a lot of equipment or infrastructure. If you get a $100,000 write-off that then that goes against active income, that saves you $40,000, you just got a 40% discount on that cash flow. So it's not like that $400 that you're making $420 a month. It's not like you had to put in $100,000. You only had to put in $60,000.
And I think the cherry on top is that $400 you're getting a month is not taxable.
Yeah, which
is
even better.
5 is really an 8.
And then you add in the 40% savings. It's actually a 16.
Perfect.
Cash on cash.
It's like those are the type of real estate investments that people should saw out and figure out how to be real estate professional. That's the magic.
That is magic right there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but I'll still push back on the 10 years. In order to replace the level at which those guys are living,
I would agree with that.
It's a 10-year endeavor.
You're correct.
Yeah,
my hack was you can get there faster.
In 10 years, you might be equal.
10 or 20 million. Like to be able to deploy it.
Well, which is why we say to people like, stick to your lane, do what you do well, make good money, and do what you do great and invest, right? Like lean on people's strengths to like invest in real estate assets or other.
And I think globally, build a team.
Exactly.
And don't even have to have an advisor necessarily. Become friends with one. Like just start playing the game and assembling a team of advisors that can help you.
Morgan, what were you going to say?
And the thing that like all these guys who are fully living passive, they've done either 2 things. They've had a massive windfall or they're old.
Right.
Like,
but
what I mean by that, it's because they've been doing it for years. Like it didn't happen overnight. These guys who have sold their blue collar companies, they didn't take their plumbing company, start it in 2010 and sell it for $1 billion in 2015.
It's the 30-year overnight success.
Overnight success, right? Exactly. So it's like, if you're young, either you need to have a windfall tomorrow. If you don't, you got to stay in the game.
Yeah.
And then you stay in the game long enough, you become old, bam, your snowball's big enough.
One of our clients would say, dude, you're a 6. Don't get too high on the horse. Keep working, grind it out, and make some money, man. And then you can start playing the passive game, Like all of our clients would be similar to this.
But I'm a 25-year-old plumber. I want to wear Rolexes and go to Turks and Caicos for the year.
Well, then you better scale a plumbing business. All right, what's the next one?
Hello, Gary.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Great.
I have a question about passive income, and I want to know what kind of trends do you see for a person interested in that? I don't want to be stuck in an office 9 to 5 for the rest of my...
Well, passive income comes in 2 forms. 97% of the form is the douchiest, shittiest thing on earth, and 3% is the tried and true thing that has actually created passive income in the history of mankind. So let's find out which side you're on. How are you thinking about, when you say passive income, do you mean what do you mean?
I mean not having to work all day long. I want to be on a beach in Mexico instead of being on an office in Sweden in cold November.
Are you being serious right now?
Yes, I'm serious.
Okay. The quickest way to not be on a beach in Mexico is to think that passive income exists. It's a bad mindset. I really believe that. I think the reason so many scumbuckets are making so much money is because you're buying stupid fucking courses over and over, thinking there's some fucking magic formula for passive income.
Doesn't he have a course?
Passive income looks like this. You take money that you can afford to go to zero, and you put them in the two places that have historically created passive income. Public markets that you don't care if it goes up and down and you just wait to the end, or real estate, and you hope that your real estate area doesn't get crushed. Everything else almost doesn't exist.
Yeah. I love that he brings up obviously real estate, which we'll talk about, but going back to the public markets, he said something there that is extremely important. You wait till the end. Well, it's compound, but it's also too, you don't like when you invest in the public markets, it feels good because you're like, oh yeah, I got $1 million in my Schwab account or anything like that. You can't pay your bills with it. Those dividends that come through are generally like 3% and they're going to be taxed. Usually you're reinvesting the dividends, which gets back to the compounding, which is smart, but you do not pay your bills with that type of cash flow. You wait to the end. And then what happens at the end? At the end, you have a large amount of money, you hope, sitting in a brokerage account that you then need to transition into cash flow. You're going to do one of two things. You're either going to move that money into some form of like muni bonds or cash producing CDs or maybe high dividend yielding stocks,
which is high dividend yielding stocks are still 4.
Exactly. And they're
still
going to
taxes.
be, and they're still taxed in like a 2.
It's really hard to not consume principal.
You're going to be consuming principal, right? And you're going to be paying a ton of taxes on that principal and on that income, unless you're in a muni bond. But a muni bond, you're just going to get your principal back in 5, 10, 20 years, whatever it is, and you don't pay any taxes on that income. But your fixed rate, you're locking in that yield, and inflation is going to eat that return alive. But you're not paying the taxes. Where real estate on the other side is when you're investing in real estate, you're earning that income now, and it's tax efficient. You're not paying the taxes as Jen's talking about.
You get to keep the $466.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're earning that now.
Use it for your bills.
And and so that $466 first pays for the car payment.
Yes.
And then and it grows, and maybe you add some more money into it, and then it pays for the groceries and the car payment, and then it turns into the mortgage. And then you get to a point where your burn rate is less than what you're making in passive income. And then that's when you can go live on the beach, right? That's that financial freedom. So I just loved how he said you wait till the end.
Yeah.
Because that was an eye-opener.
That was a key piece.
What was the line? Can we listen to that line one more time? I just wanted to hear it clearly.
Passive income looks like this. You take money that you can afford to go to zero, and you put them in the two places that have historically created passive income. Public markets that you don't care if it goes up and down and you just wait to the end, or real estate.
And you see how he didn't say real estate, you wait till the end.
Or real estate.
Yeah. Period.
Yeah.
I agree. But and it is really challenging to go passive in the markets. I've tried to figure out like how do you yield a decent dividend and cash flow that's even near competitive to real estate, and it really isn't there.
There are stuff like if someone, hopefully we have someone that like sees this and like argues with us, because they could throw out tickers like, oh yeah, this levered ETF or whatever. This like,
at what rate?
There's like 8, 10%, 12% type stuff that yields, but it's high risk, right?
Well,
and
do you have price volatility to boot?
Yeah.
Of course. And you also, so you have price volatility and you have the yield volatility as well, that it can go up and down and fluctuate. Well, and also too, I mean, you're not getting a 12. If you're a family office or a high net worth person, you're not getting a 12. Like, let's just be real.
Because you're paying tax.
You're paying tax.
So you really, in order to get the max benefit of that, let's say a slice, if you wanted to go higher risk and have a high yield, you'd have to also play the real estate game to be depreciation focused.
Correct.
And play the tax side.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart move, that if you wanted to add some additional income and boost that income, but you need to use some sort of form of shelter, and you need to be a real estate professional to be able to then use the depreciation to offset the income from the private credit or any interest bearing account.
Yeah.
In the end, like you have to, I agree. I don't agree with it doesn't exist.
Me neither.
Like that's
we know
that's
it
a pretty
exists.
hardcore answer, because like it does exist if you make a lot of money and then deploy it in the right sectors, let's say real estate and these, interest yield, bonds or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you had enough, like even Jake Paul, I've heard him say, well, if I make $1 billion, I can live off of 4%.
Well, it's kind of like what he said. If you have a pile of money that you can put somewhere and have it go to zero and not care about it.
Yeah, but if let's say you care and you go into like a ton of bonds, if you start with enough principal and you've made a bunch of money, you can live on it.
We can we can, and it's not just us, right? Because like I was sitting at dinner last night, I was telling you guys this story before we jumped on, and in one of the comments like, oh, it seemed like all the GPs, this gentleman very successful guy, hasn't found a good operator in real estate. It seems like the GPs make a lot of money. I just haven't seen anything like, I get my little whatever pref equity, but that's about it. But we could bring on clients that we have that would say, no, I live solely off of that cash flow that you provide. And and they're traveling, they're running around, they're not working. And they had a pop, but it's not like an insane number, right? Like, but it's just they've been investing for 12 years with us.
Those people have worked very hard in a career path that they chose that they're very good at and made a lot of money. And now they've chosen to invest it. And they sold
and a lot of those people like worked so hard to accumulate like 3, 4, 10 rentals.
Yeah.
And so like to his point, like they bought a house, they lived in it, they moved out of it, they kept it as a rental. That's hard to do. We all know that.
And that's not passive, that's active, right? You're actively
you're
doing
in
it.
your active phase. And so now they're like transitioning to that passive side.
Yeah.
And they're using some of these chips they stacked along the way to kind of cash in and really groom for passive.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple things. Number one, I think his general point is 97% of the stuff is fluff. And like, I'm sure there's some people remember those meme coins and those NFTs, like Bored Gorilla, Break, whatever. And they bought that and maybe they converted that. But if they made a living off of it, it probably landed in real estate or in the markets, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the general point is like, those are going to be the real deal.
Yeah.
And then from a philosophic standpoint, I do think, in Genesis, like in the beginning, in the Bible, the curse for Adam taking a bite out of that apple is it says he's going to toil in thistles and thickets and work for the rest of his days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what both of these guys' points in these clips are is like, you guys are young and you're talking about like, I don't want to go to work. Like, you don't, even if you go passive, like you're going to work.
Still got to do
Things
something.
are going to happen.
Yeah.
There's still work. Like, so he's got the wrong mindset where he's like, I don't want to work. I want to sit on a beach. Do you really want to sit on a beach? Like, are you
Indefinitely?
going? Like, there's going to be a new job that you're going to find yourself in, and that's going to be keeping your sanity.
Yeah.
People want to be productive. You got to be doing something.
Yeah. I think that the people that are just in the 9 to 5, in the grind, they have no windows.
The rat race. Yeah.
They can't see where they're going.
Yes.
They get stuck in the rat race.
Mm-hmm.
And they just yearn for even like a week or two on a beach.
Yeah.
Once you're on 2 weeks, like you're gonna get bored.
Yeah.
I just got back from Hawaii, 10 days. I was bored, like, it's like, what are you going to do? Going crazy.
You gotta train yourself to enjoy the work.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool takeaway.
Yeah.
All right, what else?
Good
we got?
clip though.
I'm 19. What would you do if you had $100K and you wanted to invest that and turn that into $1 million?
By when?
25.
You want to make $900,000 in 6 years on an investment?
Well, I'm
Yes.
just a question.
I'm not angry. I'm just truly wondering. So what's the actual goal there of like, I want to have $1 million by 26?
So right now, I work for a company where I sell roofs through insurance companies, and I make pretty decently. I was wondering how can I start at my own type of situation, or that I can invest in other things and gain passive income from those with assets.
So this idea of passive income is actually a myth. It's so much harder than it looks, and almost nobody can actually achieve it. And so do you actually have $100,000?
I have about $30K right now.
Okay. And is that all the money to your name?
Liquid, yeah.
Do you have any debt?
No.
And then do you have any investing options through your employer currently?
No. No, I don't.
Okay. So you're on your own for investing.
Yeah.
So the first place I would go is open a Roth IRA, and I would fully fund that. So you could do that, and the end goal is start investing 15% of your income, because we still have other things we've got to do with our life. We got to go on vacation. We got to upgrade the car. You want to be a homeowner one day?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm looking at that in the next year.
So then we got to save up a down payment. So we can't do everything all at once. And so I love 15% as a starting point because it allows us to focus on other goals, like saving up that down payment. So I love the goal of like, I want to be a millionaire one day. But the idea that I'm going to turn 100,000 into $1 million 6 years from now, that tells me you're more likely to lose it than you are to gain anything.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It goes back to mine. There's no shortcuts.
There's no.
Like,
You gotta have a windfall, you gotta be old.
which to create a windfall,
You gotta work hard.
you gotta put in the 10 years.
You gotta work hard. Yeah.
There's no stories that I've heard that I'd say are really great outcomes. Like, you're sure you can hit the lottery, you piss the money away.
Yeah.
Because you didn't learn the required equipment and knowledge in order to then spend the money, invest the money wisely, not pay it all in taxes.
And you pay tax on
I
that money
heard
too.
a great quote on a podcast. I don't know. I wish I knew who said it. It is so true. And it was, if you take all the money in the world and you divide it up evenly across everybody on the planet, in 5 to 10 years, everybody will have the exact same amount of money they have today.
Yes.
The poor people with the poor mindsets and scarcity mindset, they will lose it all. The people with abundance mindset who are resourceful, like teamwork, team driven, they'll be right back where they were.
Yep. I've heard that
Like
too.
if you level load it, it'll just go right back where it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the more money you get to, the more work it is. Like, it comes with things. You have
my
CPAs,
gosh.
you have attorneys, you have financial advisors, you have people, like, there's so much work that comes with it. You need to set up the S Corp, you need to place it in different things. Like, there's a lot of work that comes from it. So like this concept, and we bump into this all the time. Like one of our buddies, Ryan Naruse, he left his business. I think he had, was it car washes or something like that? He had some type of 9-to-5 job that he wanted to get out of, and he started doing what we're doing, right? Syndicating and managing mobile home parks. And the first thing he'll tell you is there's no such thing as passive, like in that regard. He's got a new full-time job managing mobile home parks.
Right.
He's wealthy, but he had to work hard. And, you've mentioned a couple times old people. There's a lot of old people, and not all of them are rich, right? The people that are rich, they were dedicated and responsible with their resources for a lifetime to achieve this.
They were savers.
Yes.
They were savers.
Well, and then they would allocate into the 15%.
Yep.
Into
they
the
had a
market,
plan.
or keep rentals along the way as
Yes.
well, like all those things, and then understand that the government is horrible at its job and it's spending way more money than it brings in, and they're going to just continue to inflate and bring up the quantity of dollars in the system. Inflation's going to run, and so then they ended up smoking it because they had assets and stocks for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a clip floating around, Cam, if you could find it, it'd be pretty interesting. Dave Ramsey just ended like the largest case study of millionaires. They interviewed like thousands of millionaires to understand their story. And one of the interesting things is the top 3 people were engineers. I think it was it was engineers, teachers was made the list. I think attorneys, and it was like type A, dedicated. It was all through being, very responsible with what they had.
And they had
investing.
a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that the moral of this story is like, you have to be responsible and disciplined with your money.
And that's just if you're playing the numbers game. Obviously, there's like the one-offs of like, tech CEOs like invest super well, got in it, like the SpaceX employees, like those. That's the exception, not the rule. So if you're playing the numbers game, like if I want to set myself up with the best likelihood of becoming a millionaire, and I wasn't born into it, and I didn't buy Bitcoin in 2010, then like that's how you do it.
How long ago was that?
5 years ago?
15, 16 years
ago, exactly, right? So even the Bitcoin guys, they had to buy it and wait.
Man, you had to be believers for a long time.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
See, minimum 10-year plan.
If you've never heard of this is just a cool thing that I really didn't bump into, but the idea between an entrepreneur and an intrapreneur.
Oh, yeah,
that's an
a good
important
one.
designation.
It
All
is.
these SpaceX guys, intrapreneurs.
Entrepreneur, for sure.
They liked Elon. They liked the team element, where they were going, the target, the goal. Obviously, it's incredible. I'd say insane, but it's also incredible. And they joined the team, and here they are. They're 100. Some of them are 100, if not billionaires, from inside the team, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, early on in our stuff, we were talking about me doing my own deals, and Blake's like, "Why don't you just go do your own deals? Like, you'll make a ton of money." And I said, "I'd rather be a part of this and like help and like let's go to the moon, you know." And I'm proudly an entrepreneur. I'm not the entrepreneur guy. I'm
right there
an
with you.
entrepreneur.
And I think too, like that's a good distinction for anyone that's trying to get out of the rat race. You don't have to like go and take all the risk yourself or go start your own business or like, what's my idea? It's like start getting around people that you look up to and find complementary skills that you can go add value to their business and their life and go grind and prove yourself. And then you could become an entrepreneur, get some of that equity of that business, like a SpaceX type of situation. And then now you're like a millionaire, right? And you're happy. You got everything that you wanted when you thought back of why you wanted to be an entrepreneur, but you did it through an entrepreneur lens, right?
Yeah.
And
that's going back to Elon. That's what he's on. Like, he's not the greatest inventor of all time. He's the greatest visionary of all time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. And his
When he puts the
ability
team
to
together.
his ability to corral smart people
And sell
and
that
get them
vision.
laser focused on a vision is why he's a literal trillionaire.
Yeah.
It's not because he invented these things.
He's also wicked smart.
Yeah,
too.
you can't. Wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
But he's a beneficiary of the most talented people in the world, all working for him on a common goal.
Like he literally went and hunted for guys that were making rockets on the weekends.
Yeah.
He took little bottle rocket guys. I'm making this oversimplified.
Must have missed over my name.
But literally guys that were making these little tiny rockets and just shooting them up as high as they could for fun. He made those guys make legit rockets.
he must have a magnetism and inspiring cadence behind doors that we don't really see in his interviews, because you hear the stories about the people working for his companies and they're doing like 80 hours and they like slave for decades for this guy and are doing really incredible things. And there must be something.
I think it's exactly what Blake just talked about. He found people that already were passionate about it, right? And so when you're passionate about it, then you can work 80 hours
to go to the moon.
Yeah,
like, literally.
Yeah.
And he's not like, at least from my understanding, like he's not like a slave driver. Like, it's not like these people are like stuck there. It's like they want to put in hours.
They do, but he is a very
Well,
fierce
you
disciplinarian.
You demand excellence, but like when you believe in the product and you believe in the team, you're willing to do more to contribute and get there.
It's all those things. And I think that he's an odd mix of let's go, let's do it because we all love it, but there's no room for bullshit.
Yeah.
And like I've heard like he gets mad at people if they want to like, try to save money to solve the problem versus just solving it.
Yeah.
Like he has a saying that's don't waste time, waste money. But it's like there's craziness in that.
I like
you
that.
know, but he
that's
pushes and drives it. The guy, it seems like he's working nonstop.
Yeah.
And he seems very empathetic when I watch some of these interviews where like he gets very emotional about some of the stuff, which I'm saying there's some gravity behind him as an individual. Yeah. He will be in textbooks for a long time.
I was telling Ben I saw a recent clip. I don't know if it was like in the last year, but they asked him like, why aren't you going into longevity and you're going into robotics, but why aren't you going into like living forever? And he goes, yeah, I don't think I'd want to live forever, And he goes, I think that we honestly need it. Like death is a great thing because then you can continue to renew the people, the energy, and like the ideas behind the world. And he's like, to be honest, I think death will bring a lot of peace and be a relief. It's like, oh my God.
Is that same interview where they asked him what goes on in his mind and he's like, it's a storm?
That was a different one, but yeah, it's similar.
We did at Ramsey a couple of years ago the largest airtight research, the largest study of millionaires in North America, in the United States of America, ever done. All the details. Where do they come from? What do they think about? Did they inherit their money? What are their careers? What's their marital status? What's their race, creed, color, whatever? Everything we could figure out, and trying to figure out, okay, what does it take to become a millionaire in America today? A millionaire is $1 million net worth. For those of you that don't know, it's not a billionaire. If you have $3,000, you're closer to being a millionaire than a millionaire is to being a billionaire, as an example. So it's not private jets and 7 cars. Okay, that's not a millionaire. $1 million net worth is not that much, but it is more than most people have. There's about 17 million millionaires in America, and that's what you own minus what you owe equals your net worth. Your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth. All right, so we post on Instagram yesterday, and this is what is societally distressing, that from this study, not a feeling that we have. We didn't ask your broke brother-in-law his opinion. We asked real millionaires, 10 freaking thousand of them, who they are, where they come from. And one of the many conclusions we drew from this was the top 10 career fields that we found according to frequency within the study. So what career field did we find most often, second most often, and so on? The most often we found was engineer. The second was an accountant or CPA. The third was teacher. The fourth was management. The fifth was attorney. So not even making the top 5 is medical doctor. By the way, there were 6, but they're not even in the top 5. And we post that on there. And Instagram and Facebook proves once again that humanity is full of morons. I mean, if you read comments after articles or comments after posts like this, you understand why some species eat their young. People are dumber than a rock out there.
Oh yeah, a lot of mouth breathers.
Some of you listening are dumber than a rock. I mean, I never heard this. Is ridiculous. So here's the thing.
No, he was really getting to something now.
The full 3 minutes. well, I wanted to see the top 10.
Oh, okay.
Well, does he? Okay.
Does he
I just wanted to
Did he
show
do it?
that was the top.
Top 5.
Like it's not freaking Ferrari salesman and jets and all this
Well,
stuff.
but we didn't get to the top.
He just went over
Top
the top
5.
6.
Top
Top
3,
5.
yeah, top 6.
He said engineer, CPA, teacher, lawyer,
Lawyer.
and
Doctors are
then
6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doctor's number 6, right?
So those
yeah.
are the core of the top 10. And
Yeah.
then what are the rest?
I don't know. This is the clip I was watching.
teachers coming in at 3 is crazy.
That's surprising.
Well, you guys got to remember,
Is
they
it like
have.
professors at colleges?
I think it's a mixture, but when you think about teachers, they have
Yeah, it
they
has
have
to be.
amazing pensions.
Yes.
They have a lot of net benefits that they go, and it's if you're a dedicated teacher and you invest a percentage in and it grows over time.
Is
Yeah.
that a forced
They don't-
function? This is a good question. When you're a teacher, do you have to invest that? Like you don't have a choice on your allocation?
So they have a defined benefit plan. They have a pension, right? Meaning it's guaranteed based on how many years they work. So then they're going to get paid a certain amount of money for the rest of their life. They'll never run out of their money because the pension guarantees it. Pension fund might run out of money, but
yeah, that's another.
but that's a whole nother
topic.
And then yet they have so my mother-in-law is I married into a teacher family. So and I can give some context around this too.
Yeah,
So
this is interesting.
teacher, firefighter, millionaires next door, right? So my in-laws are millionaires next door. They have lived in the same house for 50 years. They have a handful of rentals that they've owned. Now they're down to 1 because they've been selling them and rolling them in with us. They've invested all of their money into the stock market, and they each have a pension fund. Mm-hmm. And I gave my father-in-law a shirt from Hawaii 10 years ago. He still wears it today. He drove a 1990s Suburban all the way until this thing would break down. Like they buy cars in cash. They just are that American.
They love Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. And it wasn't like they were like anti-debt. They just saved everything they had and lived below their means. They didn't go out to eat. There's funny stories in the family that Gary, my father-in-law, would go to McDonald's and it was the 59-cent cheeseburgers, and he would cut them up into 4s, or and then freeze extras in Ziplocs.
Oh my God!
They had money, right? They had money. It wasn't like they were poor. They had money.
He almost made a game of it.
Yes, and so and he's part of like the silent generation, right? So this is like his father-in-law, his father, kind of grew up in the Great Depression and stuff like that. So that's what it takes, right? And they still live like that. I mean, obviously we're going out to dinner and they're not buying 59-cent cheeseburgers. Not that they exist anyways. But
we'll take
pickles, ketchup, and lettuce. They still have that mindset. So funny story. I'm kind of rambling, but we just bought my wife a new iPhone, and she's still on her mom's plan, which is just hilarious. But it's like she's got this cheap plan and whatever. Mom still pays her phone bill. I'm not complaining. And so we bought this.
No, it must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice.
We married. Keep going.
Yeah.
Marry up, baby.
And so it cost $40 at Apple. So we bought the phone. $40 at Apple. Verizon charges $40 to activate the phone. And so I texted her mom and said, "Hey, because this would be a big deal. Hey, just FYI, your phone bill is going to be at $40." She's like, "Oh." She's like, "Thanks for letting me know. Okay, hopefully it's just one time." She called Verizon and made them give her the $40 back. It's like, yeah, but I think it's awesome. I honestly think it's really cool because it's not like inconveniencing their lives. They're just very like a dollar saved is a dollar earned, and I think I look up to them in that vein. They're very frugal. And they go on nice vacations, right? They do spend money when they want to, right, on certain things, but they're not just spending money to spend money.
Yeah, and I think like in that middle class, because a lot of those jobs like CPAs, teachers, like those don't jump off the page scream millionaire when you list those jobs or you talk to kids nowadays about who making up this list, right? But I think in those salary brackets, like the firm middle class, you're more methodical about where the money is and where it's going, right? Because you don't have a doctor's salary, you don't have a professional athlete. Like you make so much, you don't know what to do with it, so you start spending all this crap. But if you're making $60K, it's like, okay, I know where I got $5,000 a month. I know where every dollar is going in. Yeah. And so that and like the common theme of what we've been talking about, that plus the test of time plus compounded interest, like. Makes sense.
So, I got the 10 reasons here pulled up on Claude.
So before I mentally move from this, if you're a teacher, I know the firefighter deal, but I think they're kind of similar where you don't really have a choice. Let's say if you're making 100 base in each case, 100K base, are you forced to leg in X?
Yeah. Yes.
Is there a choice in the matter?
I brought it up. So some states offer opt-out options, okay, but some it's forced. Teachers, it's 6 to 11% of every paycheck goes into retirement from day one. So that's the number one reason, according to Claude, for this. And
that's a pension, not 401k?
Correct. Pension is a forced savings. Teachers cannot opt out of. It did say earlier that some states allow it, and obviously this wouldn't include like private school teachers and things like that.
Right.
They start early, never stop. Steady and predictable income. Lifestyle inflation never kicks in because their salaries grow so slow, right? Where you're not getting like a big bump. So now it's like, oh, well, now we can afford the boat. Yeah. Access to 403B, 457 plans on top of pensions. So they can contribute both to another double tax saving advantage. During summers, they have so much time. Do you guys know any teachers that are off for 3 months in summer? Yeah. So some of them get tutoring jobs and other things during that time. Usually they are married, so statistically they have a higher rate of marriage, and they're married to another working professional. Job security, so it says that it enables aggressive investing, and its bottom line is higher millionaire does not always equal higher earner. It comes down to net worth. So I think that's kind of what we all touched on today.
Yeah. Cool. I think there's an element that I would like to across our team as we grow on the management platform side.
Yeah.
W-2 employees, I kind of want to enable something where it's sort of forced to invest in our deals.
I know.
So that we can, people can come and go and they have their little piece. But I think that's a big missing part of our team.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Let's go to that one video if we have the time. Yeah, it's at the hour. So this is something that I've been thinking a lot about. I would love your guys' reactions to this. It's the adage like diversification versus concentration. And so you guys, we know a lot of people, right? A lot of clients that we speak with, and we understand how they made their money. I want you to kind of listen to this clip. This is a real estate guy, but this is going around right now as far as people saying that you have to diversify. And I think diversification, in my experience, is a little bit overblown.
Do you believe in diversification, or do you think that most fortunes come from concentration?
That's a great question. So intellectually, I would say diversification is very smart and intelligent, and I have very smart friends who are well diversified. I can't seem to ever get myself there because I'm so, when you're a real estate person, you're illiquid, and you have to keep. In order for me to get bonus depreciation, I have to buy more real estate. And so I just keep getting more and more concentrated in real estate. And when I had a large real estate portfolio, what did I do? I went out and bought operating companies that owned real estate. So I guess I tend to do what I know. And I wish I knew more about, AI companies and that type of thing, and diversify my interests that way, but I don't.
How are you currently investing then? If you were to divide up your portfolio, what does it look like? You have this in, department stores, retail stores. You have this in stocks, bonds, treasuries. I would say,
80 to 90% of my net worth is in real estate, and 10, 20 in liquid assets.
What is a liquid asset to you?
Mm-hmm. Liquid assets, stocks.
So stocks,
yeah.
And is it real estate based stocks, or I'm curious how Realty Group?
How dumb would I be to be buying real estate?
I know that's what that's what I thought was funny.
All right, you can pause it right there.
That's funny. I like that.
So
It's true.
I always track the REITs just because I can't help it. But it's no, if I do it, it's I'm going to do it in a different vein.
Yes.
Exactly, because you're going to get all the tax benefits. And we did a chat about this, or a clip the other day when we were shooting some content, and I said diversification is overrated. Anyone and yes, intellectually it makes sense, right? I would say for the majority of people, you should diversify. But for the people that I have met, that I know, that have made substantial net worth, they've done it through concentration. They've done it through their own businesses. They've done it through real estate. They've done it in things that they know. They are a subject matter expert at. They understand how the value comes in. They understand how to create the value. And so that's why I think that sometimes everyone gets so concentrated, especially some clients that I speak to, on how much do I have in these mobile home park thing, and I need my financial advisor says I need to diversify. And I think that it goes counterintuitive to what their goals are. Because if your goal is to get to what we're talking about, passive income, real estate is the best vehicle to get passive income, right? And so you have to be goal oriented to what's the outcome. And that's why I think that sometimes diversification gets overblown. If you are a very, very high net worth person, and then a family office, let's just say a family office, diversification makes all the sense in the world because you have all the money in the world. And that's your whole job now, is you have a whole team to find you the best deals, like he's saying, in AI or real estate or in the stock market or all these things. And they're all feeding each other with the CPAs and the tax consultants and everything like that to play that game. That is a game that
it is a game.
$100 million plus can play. And I think that for people that are like that, the teachers, the millionaires, the diversification really works. But if you're trying to generate that 5, 10 plus $1 million net worth, I think it's through concentration.
Well, I think it pings us a little bit differently because we're in a niche investment vehicle, and we're I think that this general conversation is if you're putting 10% of your paycheck into the markets, then anyone advising you is going to say you should be diverse in that scenario, right? You're not going to put it, all 10% is going to Google. No, you're going to put some in a muni bond, and you're going to put some in Google and Apple and whatever. You're going to pick your stuff, right? Or you're going to go in some indexes. You're going to put in indexes.
But I agree with you. But let's talk about diversification, because now you're cutting the pie smaller. So within public equities, you're saying diversify. What I'm saying is overall broad asset classes, right? Overall broad asset classes, real estate's a bucket, public equities is a bucket, fixed income is a bucket, private equity, whatever, private credit, anything like that, that could be a bucket too. I'm just saying that within those big buckets of overall assets, I just think that it makes sense for concentration. And then any family office that we've met, that we've known, they made their money through concentration. Then they sold the business and then they diversified.
I can drive the point home. Let's say, I was going to say, if you know a billionaire, we know a couple, but I'll rule them out. Let's go to 100 millionaire. We all know somebody that's worth 100 mil.
Yeah.
Did they do it vertical straight down in their niche, or did they do it peppering throughout?
I guess it's for their niche.
I've never met one, and we know a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but we know a handful, right? Never met one that have made that through diversification. And I think you'd agree with me. I've just never met it. And
now, when you've become, let's call it the professional in a given vertical, now you get the benefit of having a lot of friends that trust you in that space that are really good in their verticals.
Yeah.
And now you
Then
throw
you can
money
rake
around,
in.
and you can basically, you're building this well, and you're going straight down, and you become a trusted source for your trade. And then you can start to spray out and go horizontal because you've built the platform and you've built a foundation, and you have people that you know that can then get you into those sectors.
Yeah.
That's so well said. And you have value, right? And that's why those other high value people lean on you for things, right? Like people lean on us for taxes or like, mobile home parks or real estate.
We would become a tax advising shop. Really, I never thought that.
But now those 100 millionaires, billionaires come to us because we have value, because we have focused in one specific vein.
Which is why it's like you pick your lane and you be good at that one thing.
You be great. You be exceptional, outstanding, right? Like Tony. Yeah.
Otherwise, you can't be great at too many avenues.
No.
You have to just pick one.
And then when you want to go to moon, the Mars, you invest with Elon.
Right. Exactly.
I think if you took like 100 people, 50 of them don't do anything, right? They're not putting any money anywhere, right? And then the next 40 are probably putting it in some, Robinhood account, something like that. I think as Robert Kiyosaki said, less than 5% of people are looking at cash flow. So we're talking when we see this is a Main Street conversation. How many views does this have? Millions. They have millions of subscribers. This is a Main Street conversation. We're having a different conversation because everyone around us is in the fight.
Well, let's go to Morgan just because he's been trying to jump in.
Well, a quick thing that I think this aspect gets left out in this conversation, and it goes back to what you said about different asset classes like public equities, real estate, private credit. It's not necessarily diversification, it's correlation and spreading your investment vehicle on non-correlated things. Because when you think about, like, when you talk to your financial advisor, I want to diversify. Like, okay, go buy Halliburton, go buy Apple, go buy Nvidia, go buy, Pfizer. Like, oh, those are all diversified industries. Well, no, because like when the market freaking tanks and you see your little squares on your little app, they're all red.
Yeah.
Right? It's because they're correlated.
You're in stocks.
Because you're in stocks, right? But they're all correlated. So it's like, okay, when all those squares go red, what's the asset class that will stay green? And how do you correlate or uncorrelate and unlink your portfolio so when the market tanks, your portfolio doesn't tank.
Right.
Only your part of your portfolio that's actually exposed to the market. Or then if real estate tanks, hopefully it doesn't, but like it does,
Maybe
everything
the market.
cycles. Like, where's my money that's not going to be associated with the real estate tanking? Private credit, like all these different things.
Gold.
And it's about correlation, not diversification.
I mean,
And I think too, the last point that he had to say that was really well put is like, I was having this conversation with one of our large clients after the investor summit, is that this guy's a real estate guy, just like we're real estate folks. Like 80-90% of our net worth is in real estate. It's what we own and it's what we've built a career in, right? And I think that within that 80-90%, to your point, you have a lot of different assets in different markets. And that's diversification, going back to your different stocks, right?
Yeah.
Sure, the mobile home park industry can get hit all together, right? But you kind of pick and choose your game that you play. And that's why he has 20% in liquid stuff. So then he has enough cash flow to live off of for probably 5 years or whatever it is.
Right.
Well, and then you get to where you have a scaled real estate platform. You need some liquidity for all
For
the
things.
unknowns, for the lender dynamics, for, so we're having to move in that direction because
new world, it's a job.
You can't exist as a meaningful size operator without a decent amount of liquidity.
Correct.
So
for the rainy day.
Well, Jen, final word, and let's wrap up.
I think it was just good stuff today. Really good content for people, kind of some tips and tricks from us and all the different directions we covered. So overall, this was a fun chat, guys.
Did we crack the code?
I think we
Correct.
did.
I think so.
Buy
Consider
more
it
trailer
correct.
parks, baby.
And I think there's one takeaway, big takeaway was there's no easy way to get to passive income.
Gotta get old.
You gotta get in the trenches and work hard for 10 plus years. Get your vertical and then go full tilt into it.
But it does exist and it is achievable. And we're big believers in passive income over here.
Amen. Cashflow. Cashflow Quest. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.